All right, let's just get right into it. In a world where entire industries can get flipped upside down practically overnight, the old rulebook for strategy, it's gone, obsolete. So today, we're going to dig into the new one, the Dynamic Capabilities Framework. Think of this as your guide to building an organization that doesn't just survive change, it actually gets better because of it.
And it all starts with this one question. The question that should honestly keep every leader up at night. It's simple, right? Can your organization adapt faster than the world around you is changing? Because let's be real, if the answer is no, you're already behind. This isn't just some business school theory. This is the challenge of our time.
So to really get the solution, we first have to wrap our heads around the problem. In this first part, we're going to look at why the whole idea of a fixed 5-year strategic plan is basically a relic of the past.
Okay, let's dive into this. The entire business environment has done a complete 180. We've gone from a world that was all about stability and squeezing out every last drop of efficiency to one that's just defined by constant, non-stop disruption. The name of the game isn't perfecting some static plan anymore. It's about evolving constantly and iterating as fast as you possibly can. The old model just can't hang.
And this right here is the absolute key. The old moats, being the biggest player or having the most cash, they just don't protect you like they used to. Today, the most valuable asset you can have is a rocket ship. That strategic agility to pivot and change course on a dime. So, if the old way is broken, what's the new way? Well, that brings us right to the core of this whole framework. The 3 pillars that are designed to build that essential agility right into the DNA of your company. Let's get a little formal for just a second. The official term is dynamic capabilities, and the definition is so important. It's not about being more efficient at what you already do. No, it's about your core ability to, and I quote, integrate, build, and reconfigure what you're good at to face whatever's coming next. It's a huge shift from just running the business to actively changing the business.
And this all breaks down into a really simple but powerful mantra. Sense, seize, and transform. Now, don't think of these as departments or some step-by-step project plan. These are continuous behaviors, a mindset that has to be embedded across the entire culture. First up is sense. This is all about having your organizational antennas up, tuned to every possible signal you can find. It means soaking up data from customers, from the market, from new tech, all to detect those super faint signals of change before they become a deafening siren that all your competitors can hear too.
And here's the perfect example of sensing. Netflix didn't sit around and wait for Blockbuster to go out of business. They sensed that growing frustration people had with late fees, they saw the potential of broadband internet, and they made a massive bet on streaming way before it was the obvious move.
But, sensing an opportunity is totally useless if you don't do the next step, seize. This is all about execution. It's about speed, grabbing that idea and just running with it. Because sensing without seizing, that's just expensive market research. It means you have the organizational metabolism to move fast, allocate resources, and make those bold investments to cash in on what you've sensed.
Amazon is the absolute master of this. They seized the shift to e-commerce by doing more than just selling books online. They made these massive, decisive investments in logistics and, maybe most importantly, in cloud infrastructure with AWS. They literally built the rails for the new economy while everyone else was still trying to figure out how to sell their stuff on it.
Okay, now for the third and honestly the hardest pillar, transform. This isn't about making the caterpillar faster. It's about that painful, messy process of becoming a butterfly. It means fundamentally rewiring the entire organization, your structure, your processes, your culture, all to support a totally new way of being.
Just think about Adobe. They made the incredibly tough call to kill their cash cow, selling Photoshop in a box for a one-time fee, and move everything to a subscription model. This required a complete transformation of their sales, their marketing, their engineering, everything. It was super painful in the short term, but it's what secured their dominance for the next decade.
So let's move to and see how this builds from just a theory to the actual operating system for some of the biggest titans of industry. This isn't just academic stuff. This is how the most resilient companies on the planet actually work.
But before we jump into the cases, you have to get this distinction. Operational capabilities are about efficiency. That's just keeping the lights on, doing what you do today, but a little bit better. Dynamic capabilities, though, that's about adaptation. That's about building tomorrow's business. You absolutely need both, but only one is going to keep you relevant in the long run.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it shows IBM using dynamic capabilities over an entire century. It's fascinating. They have survived by completely reinventing themselves over and over. From hardware to services to AI and now to the cloud. IBM is the ultimate case study in transforming before you're forced to.
Or just look at Microsoft's incredible revival. They sensed the PC's dominance was fading, they seized these huge opportunities in the cloud with Azure and Office 365, and they completely transformed their culture and business model, becoming one of the most valuable companies in the world all over again.
So, we've seen the theory, we've looked at the titans, now let's bring it all back to you. How can you actually start building these capabilities in your own organization, like right now?
This table here is a great place to start. To get better at sensing, you can use things like AI analytics. To seize opportunities, you can use agile methods and launch what they call minimum viable products, or MVPs, to just test ideas really fast. And to transform, you got to focus on restructuring and deeply integrating your digital tools.
But you have to remember, agility is something you build, not something you just declare in a meeting. It absolutely requires these foundational pieces. You need leaders with real foresight, a culture that actually values learning, and a true willingness to make smart strategic experiments. Without these, the framework is just a bunch of empty words on a slide.
And this might be the single most important idea of all. You can change the org chart all you want, but dynamic capability is not structural, it is behavioral. It's all about creating a culture where people feel safe enough to experiment, to fail fast, and most importantly, to learn even faster from those failures.
So as we wrap up, let's just lock in these key ideas. First, any advantage you have is temporary, so your agility has to be permanent. Second, strategy isn't a plan anymore, it's a non-stop process. Third, your biggest enemy is complacency. And finally, the real power, the true advantage is your internal ability to adapt. I'll just leave you with this thought. In a world of constant change, the goal isn't to build bigger walls to defend where you are today. The goal is to build the engine that lets you constantly evolve to wherever you need to be tomorrow. And that, right there, is the very essence of strategy today.